12:30 in the morning on June 22nd, I found myself driving to the hospital in response to a phone call we received that our son had had a skateboarding accident.
His legs shot out in front of him and he fell backwards and he started sliding a little bit.
And then he told us that he couldn't see out of his right eye. We said we were going to take him to the hospital and he really didn't want to go.
Jorden came in with severe head injury after a skateboard accident, and we took care of him here at Cottage Hospital with a team effort of our entire emergency department and trauma team.
I started asking around, telling them who I was. My son was there.
Jorden is one of the cases that we least like to see in emergency medicine. A young guy who's been injured without a helmet and unconscious.
He said this is the hardest thing we ever have to do, is to have this discussion with a parent, and prognosis is not a good one.
The brain is the gray. The white is bleeding that's occurring between the dura and the brain, called a subdural hematoma. And we took him to the operating room and removed this section of skull from here back to here and stopped the bleeding.
About 8 o'clock, they took him back in for a CT, and that's when we found out that he had additional bleeding, and this time it was actually worse than the initial bleeding.
So fundamentally, our neurosurgeon faced a very difficult decision of whether to go back in, facing the risk that he would not be able to control the bleeding, and it could be imminently life-threatening for Jorden.
My husband and I are very good at controlling our lives. It's not until the one thing that matters in your life is threatened and you can't do anything but wait and hope. I remember Dr. Jones coming in about an hour and a half before we expected the surgery to be over, which causes your heart to sink. He just had this face on that you knew that things went well and not badly.
Dr. Jones was able to accomplish his goal. When he took him back to the operating room the second time, he was able to control the bleeding, and then from that point on, we were able to control the pressure and subsequently get Jorden off the ventilator, and he had a remarkably rapid recovery from that point on.
Bring them together. Bend. Straighten.
I can't remember for about 30 minutes before the accident, and I also don't remember pretty much my entire stay the first time in the hospital. Dr. Jones definitely helped me get through the whole ordeal.
He chose the right friends, if you will, and they were intelligent enough to get him quickly to the emergency room. The vital things are done early on, the airways controlled, the scan is done, because there's a well-oiled machine in a trauma center, and that makes a big difference in these critical cases.
Most of the traumatic injuries for pediatrics and adults can be treated right here in Santa Barbara without having to transfer to bigger centers like Los Angeles.
Children's Miracle Network and Cottage Children's Hospital have a fundraiser, and those funds have gone to great use. We're the recipients. Somebody asked me about giving to the hospital and how do you know what happens? My answer to them was, when everything you have is in there, it's very important for fundraising.
We had so much uncertainty, and he's amazed us at every turn, and his recovery is a miracle, and we're just so thankful.
Those boys just jumped to a conclusion, acted on it, and saved their friend's life.
I'm really thankful for my friends' quick decision-making. I owe my life to them.
I guess being a true friend is just always being there through thick and thin. And I guess we were there for Jorden.